Welcome back to the Deep Dive, the show where we try to distill complex stuff into real insights for your brain. Today we're talking about unlocking something pretty incredible, your learning superpowers. And, well, to kick us off, I've got a story that honestly sounds made up. Picture this. It's 1843, the Vatican Library. A scholar, Trigels, finally gets permission to see the Codex Vaticanus, this super ancient manuscript, like 325 AD. But the rules are intense. Only 6 hours a day, no notes, no pens, guards watching him constantly. So what does he do? He memorizes a chunk of it each day. In Greek, Hebrew, and Aramaic. Goes home, writes it down from memory, comes back the next day. 3 months later, he's got the entire Codex Vaticanus memorized. His published work was so spot on, the Pope eventually had the whole thing photographed and made public. Just wow. Just imagine being able to do things like that. To learn faster, better than you ever thought possible. That's really our mission today. We're diving deep into how to learn faster and better by Freedman Newman, pulling out the key nuggets. The goal is to help you, our listener, become, a much more effective, more engaged learner. We'll look at reading, memory, organizing information. Powerful stuff.
And what's really striking is how the author starts, not with theory, but with this incredible real-world example of what humans can do. It immediately says, look, these aren't just abstract ideas. These are skills you can actually build if you're serious about it.
Exactly. And that's the heart of it, right? The core philosophy here is if you believe you can improve that growth mindset thing, if you get that learning isn't just genetics, and if you actually commit to practice, well, profound improvement is absolutely possible. It's almost inevitable. We'll show you how. So let's start with reading. Its transformative power. Our source has some amazing stories. Take Malcolm X, jailed at 21, right? He decided to use his time, what the author calls alive time instead of just dead time. He literally taught himself to read by copying a dictionary page by page. Wow. Then he just devoured everything, history, philosophy. Later, someone asked his alma mater. He just said, books. Prison was his university.
That's incredible.
Then there's Dr. Ben Carson, the famous neurosurgeon. As a kid, 5th grade, everyone thought he was the, quote, dumbest kid in class. His mom, Sonia Carson, single mother, could barely read herself. But she made Ben and his brother read 2 books a week and write reports.
Even though she couldn't easily check them, right?
Yeah.
The act itself was key.
Exactly. Ben read all the animal and rock books in the library. Then one day in class, he knew the answer about an obsidian rock. Nobody else did. That single moment, that aha moment, it just flipped a switch in his head, changed his self-belief. He went from bottom of the class to the top.
And then on to become a pioneering neurosurgeon.
First Black American to separate conjoined twins, joined at the head. It's an incredible trajectory.
And connecting this back, these stories, they really show that reading isn't just, grabbing facts. It's fundamental. It can literally change your life path no matter where you start. It's about reinventing yourself.
So why is reading so powerful? The source points out it's an active mental thing, unlike just watching a movie passively. It forces imagination, concentration, and it creates what the author calls vuja de débufol, seeing old problems in a totally new light.
Like the opposite of déjà vu, seeing the familiar freshly.
Right. It disrupts your usual thinking patterns, like that joke, test, joke, yoke. Most people say yoke. But reading might make you think albumin. It builds new connections, new ideas.
It literally builds intelligence.
And powerful people throughout history knew this. Alexander the Great traveled with the library. Cleopatra got 400,000 volumes as a gift.
Abdul Qasim Ismail carried 117,000 books on 400 camels, arranged alphabetically.
That's commitment. They understood books hold wisdom, power.
Which raises that interesting point the source makes. Why are books called the most dangerous weapons on planet Earth?
Yeah, what's that about?
Because they contain ideas. Ideas that can free people, change societies. That's a power that people trying to control others, like slave owners, understood very, very well.
Which, tragically, brings us to Frederick Douglass. He started learning his ABCs around age 10. His master found out and was furious. Said learning would make him unfit to be a slave, put ideas of freedom in his head.
And there were actual laws against it, the black codes, brutal punishments.
But Douglass persisted. Practiced writing with chalk on fences, borrowed books. At 17, he bought the Columbian Orator, speeches about liberty. He taught himself to write by copying those speeches. Speeches he'd later deliver himself as a major abolitionist and advocate for women's rights. Reading literally set him free.
It changed everything for him.
So reading changes us deeply. How we solve problems, store information, tell stories, see the world, see ourselves. It even apparently changes the physical shape of our brains. Think about books that shape the world. The Bible, the Quran, Tao Te Ching, Shakespeare.
Yeah.
But also negatively, right? Goethe's sorrows of young Werther apparently led to suicides.
And things like the Communist Manifesto, Hitler's Mein Kampf. Ideas have consequences, good and bad.
The point is, your dream, whatever it is, might literally be one book, one page away. Like the Wright brothers finding inspiration in animal mechanism, or Tolkien, his obsession with the Finnish grammar book sparked Middle-earth.
Amazing.
Okay, so let's unpack some common myths about reading, things that might be holding you back right now. Myth number 1. Reading has to be linear, start to finish, and you must read every single word.
Yeah, that's a big one. And it's just not true, is it?
Not at all. Your brain wants meaning, patterns. The source says you can skip maybe 40% of words and still get it. It's about being efficient.
Your brain predicts and fills in. It's smarter than we give it credit for.
And myth 2. Every part of a book is equally important.
Also false. Writers often include filler, maybe too many examples.
Right. You can skim, fast forward through the slow bits, like a movie, focus on what you need.
These myths really come from old ideas about how the brain works. It's much more adaptable. Breaking free from these rigid rules helps you learn better.
Absolutely. Then there's the classic, I just don't have time to read.
Ah, the time excuse.
Big misconception. The source talks about the 15-minute rule, just 15 minutes a day. That could be, say, 7 pages. Do that consistently. That's a book a month, 12 books a year.
It's that slight edge idea Jeff Olson talks about. Small, consistent efforts compound massively.
Exactly. And it takes about 66 days, the source says, to build those new neural pathways, make it a habit.
So consistency is key.
Totally. Oh, and the myth that you're just a left brain or just a right brain person.
Right, that old chestnut. Neuroscience shows that. Well, the source calls it bullshit.
Yes, it does. Both sides of your brain work together. Claiming you're just one or the other is just limiting yourself.
Definitely a self-imposed limitation.
Okay, so how do we read better? Freedman Newman's 4-step reading system promises big improvements. Step 1 is pre-reading, basically a rapid scan before you really dive in.
Like a reconnaissance mission.
Exactly. Get the lay of the land, gives you context, boosts retention later, and crucially, stops you wasting time on stuff that isn't relevant to you.
Saves you going down the wrong dark alley, as the analogy goes.
Right, techniques like 15 seconds a page scan, look for keywords, chapter headings, summaries, ask yourself questions, get a feel for it. Then, system 2. In-depth reading. This is the slower part, the critical analytical thinking.
Where the real learning happens.
Yeah, you're gathering facts, deciding what's important, comparing it to what you already know, choosing what to lock into memory. The key here is having a clear purpose before you start. What do I want to get out of this? Then survey the book title, author, table of contents, index, preface, then study it properly.
And varying your speed is important here, right? Not just one plodding pace.
Definitely. And taking breaks. Like every 30, 40 minutes, pause, mentally review what you just read, let it sink in.
And that brings up an interesting point about the brain. How does it interpret this kind of activity? It's not just the task. When you set a clear goal, you expect the reward of learning something new, your brain releases dopamine.
Ah, the pleasure chemical.
Right. Which makes the activity itself feel more rewarding over time. It creates this positive feedback loop, helping build that habit.
Makes sense. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about supercharging your memory. Memory, simply put, is your brain's amazing ability to keep and recall what you've learned. The ancient Greeks thought it was so important they made it a goddess. Mnemosyne, mother of the muses, the goddesses of inspiration.
Placing memory right at the heart of creativity and knowledge.
And here's where it gets really interesting. The sheer potential of memory. Psychologists basically say there's no known limit. One professor estimated even if you learn 10 new things every second for your entire life, your brain would still be less than half full.
And neurologists talk about capacity in petabytes, like 2.5 petabytes.
Which is what?
Enough storage for 300 million hours of HD television.
Yeah.
Your brain is, as the source says, bigger than Google.
Wow. 100 billion neurons, 100 trillion connections. It's staggering.
And think about those people with incredible memory feats, reciting whole books, recalling every day of their lives.
Like that 90-year-old woman reciting the Bible, or the guy repeating a newspaper backward.
The key thing the source emphasizes is that these people generally train their memory.
Yeah.
It wasn't just an innate gift for most. It's a skill.
A skill we can develop.
Exactly. And understanding how memory works helps us train it better. We have that fleeting sensory memory, then short-term or working memory.
The mental blackboard, right, holds about 7 things for 30 seconds in the frontal lobe.
Right. And then long-term memory, which involves encoding, storage, retrieval, moving info from the hippocampus deeper into the cerebral cortex. Knowing these stages helps us choose the right techniques to move information into that long-term storage. It's strategic.
Okay, so let's dive into those techniques, the steps to memory boost. First up, attention. Simple but critical. Focusing your mental energy on one thing.
Like that invisible gorilla test.
Yeah.
Mhm.
People counting basketball passes totally miss a guy in a gorilla suit walking through because
Right.
they're focused elsewhere. You can't truly attend to two things at once.
Strong and fixed attention gives strong and fixed impressions. Makes sense.
So how do you develop it? Find pleasure in what you're learning. Start small, focus on 10 lines without your mind wandering, then 20, then a page. Practice sustained focus.
Like building a muscle.
Exactly. Second, engage your senses. Use sight. Pictures, diagrams are huge. Our brains process images way faster than text, like a billion bits per second versus 100 for print.
So visualizing things helps massively.
And writing things down, even keywords. And use hearing. Repeat stuff aloud helps strengthen those neural pathways. Think how easily a tune or gossip sticks.
Good point.
Third, don't just repeat. Analyze what you want to memorize. Break it down. Understand the structure. Reverse engineer it. Makes it less monotonous and helps it stick. Fourth, suggestive association. Link new ideas to things you already know.
Like Simonides in The Banquet Guests, remembering who was where.
Right. He visualized their places. Even ridiculous associations work. If it helps you link the new thing to something familiar, use it. Place-dependent learning fits here, too. Studying in a specific place can help recall in that place.
Or that number association exercise. 1 is sun, 2 is shoe.
Yeah, linking numbers to images. Fifth, mnemonics or acronyms. Like ROYGBIV for the rainbow. Turns abstract lists into memorable phrases.
Mr. Niger D for characteristics of living things. Classic school examples.
They work. Sixth, emotion. Big link here. We remember emotional events better.
Absolutely. Personal experiences, shocking news. They stick.
The source says children learn effortlessly because they're passionate. Your pupils dilate when you're interested. Learning paired with emotion, even negative, like the source's hot slap example, makes info stick faster.
That's the amygdala, the emotion center, working closely with the hippocampus, the memory center. They're neighbors in the brain.
Seventh, schemas. These are like mental frameworks for concepts, like your schema for dog or sports car. New info sticks better if you can link it to an existing schema.
Like using the solar system model to understand the atom initially. An analogy creates a schema.
Eighth, chunking. Grouping info into meaningful units.
Like the chess masters study. They don't see individual pieces, they see patterns, chunks.
Exactly. We do it with phone numbers, grouping digits. Or remembering sentences instead of single words. Break large info down into smaller, meaningful chunks.
Makes it much more manageable for working memory.
Ninth and 10th are related. The art of practice and spaced repetition. Practice makes perfect, right? Neurons that fire together wire together.
That's Hebbian law. And practice builds myelin, that insulation on nerve fibers, making signals way faster, 3,000 times faster.
But too much practice at once isn't good. That's spaced repetition.
Right. Hermann Ebbinghaus and the forgetting curve. Cramming doesn't work long term.
Studying, say, an hour a day for a week is way better than cramming for 7 hours straight, or worse, 20 hours over a weekend.
Your brain needs downtime to consolidate those connections, make sense of it all.
Okay, quick detour on physical well-being. It matters. Food and water. Your brain needs fuel. Glucose, protein for neurotransmitters, omega fatty acids.
Then hydration.
Crucial. And sleep. So important. REM sleep, slow wave sleep. Your brain is actually highly active, consolidating memories, replaying neural patterns from the day.
Research shows it improves performance on learned tasks. Napping helps too, transferring memories to long-term storage.
So prioritize sleep if you want to learn effectively. Now,
Right.
a really critical modern issue, stop multitasking.
Ah, yes. The enemy of deep learning.
Trying to learn while texting, chatting, surfing,
Yeah.
it just doesn't work for building lasting knowledge. It disrupts the brain's ability to change and make strong connections, neuroplasticity,
Plus, it bumps out stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline.
which leads to aggression, impulsivity, even short-term memory loss. And you're not actually multitasking anyway, are you?
No, it's rapid task switching. And it tanks productivity, increases errors by like 50%.
Oh, focus breeds insight. Like the chimpanzee figuring out how to connect poles to get fruit. You need
Right.
that dedicated
And
focus.
your reticular activating system, the RAS.
The brain's filter, right?
Yeah, it tunes into what you focus on. Once you decide something is important, your RAS stops filtering it out. You start noticing it everywhere. Focus directs your attention filter.
Now, the source mentions potential gender differences in multitasking, maybe due to brain structure.
Yes, there's some research on that, perhaps favoring women for certain types of task switching due to, say, occipital lobe development.
Yeah.
However, for deep cognitive work, like the kind of learning and memory we're discussing, the evidence is overwhelming. Sustained, single-minded focus is absolutely critical for everyone.
Good clarification. Multitasking is the enemy of deep learning, period.
Ah.
Okay, let's shift gears. Let's talk about the power of mind mapping. Our source calls them brilliant route maps for the memory, a way to organize stuff visually that taps into how your brain naturally works.
Turning boring lists into these colorful, memorable diagrams.
Right. They engage your whole brain. Apparently, you have something like 10th to the 11th power potential neural connections. Mind mapping helps create more of them.
And there's science behind it. Tony Buzan's work, citing studies. Mind mapping boosted word recall by up to 32%.
Wow.
And long-term memory effects by 10%. So it's not just pretty pictures, it actually improves memory and understanding.
And it sparks creativity too, right? By helping you link ideas in new ways, like that string puzzle Mayer did using pliers as a pendulum weight. Creativity is often just connecting existing ideas differently.
Mind maps facilitate that kind of nonlinear connection making.
So a mind map helps you get an overview, gather lots of data, solve problems, see new pathways, make it more enjoyable, activate your whole brain, clear the mental fog. Lots of benefits.
And some very famous thinkers used similar methods.
Yeah, Albert Einstein rejected purely linear thinking, thought diagrammatically and schematically. Famously said he didn't carry info in his head that was easily found in books. His focus was on connection and understanding.
Teachers thought he was slow.
Leonardo da Vinci, his notebooks, full of images, diagrams, symbols, exploring everything from art to anatomy nonlinearly.
Those notebooks are worth millions now.
And Charles Darwin, he used branching tree diagrams, basically mind maps, to organize all his observations on the Beagle voyage.
That helped him see the relationships, the patterns.
And formulate his entire theory of evolution in just 15 months after returning. That visual organization was key.
Powerful testament to the method.
So how do you actually make one? It's pretty simple. Start in the center of a blank page, turn sideways. Use a strong image or diagram for your main topic, like memory techniques. Images are powerful, remember.
That billion bits per second processing speed.
Use colors. Draw thick, curved, organic branches radiating out from the center for your main ideas, like tree branches. Label each with just one capital keyword.
One keyword per branch. Why?
Sparks more associations, gives you more flexibility to branch off later. Keep adding main branches, maybe 5 or 6. Then add smaller, thinner branches, second and third level connected to the main ones. Keep using single keywords and images.
So it grows organically outwards.
Exactly, and there you have it, your first mind map. Like any skill, repetition is key. Neurons that fire together wire together.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Practice building those visual connections.
So, wow, we've covered a lot today. From the incredible power of reading those stories of transformation.
Malcolm X, Ben Carson.
No. Debunking those reading myths that hold people back. Diving deep into memory techniques, attention, association, chunking.
Spaced repetition. The importance of sleep and focus.
Right. And finally, the visual power of mind mapping, used by geniuses like Einstein and Darwin. We went from personal stories to brain science.
And if we try to connect it all, zoom out a bit, all these strategies, they point to one really profound thing. Your potential for learning is likely way, way greater than you currently imagine. It's not just about raw talent. It's about how you engage with information, optimizing the process.
Nurturing those connections, making learning active.
Exactly.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Here's a final thought to chew on, building on the source's idea of patience. Think about the Chinese bamboo tree. You plant the seed, you water it, fertilize it. For 4 straight years, nothing shows above ground. Nothing. Then, in the 5th year, boom, it shoots up 90 feet in just 6 weeks.
Wow. All the growth was happening underground, building the foundation.
Right, or think about an elephant. 2 years gestation. A dog has puppies much faster. But when the elephant baby finally arrives, it demands attention. It's substantial. Impressive.
A powerful metaphor for deep work.
Your efforts in learning, even when you don't see results immediately, they're like that bamboo root system or that elephant growing. Be patient, be persistent. Keep working on yourself. What you're building internally is mighty and great. It will eventually draw attention. Don't give up and uproot your seed just because you can't see the sprout yet. Keep nurturing it.
Great final thought. Patience and persistence in learning.
So the challenge is, pick one thing from today. Just one. Maybe it's setting a clear purpose before you read your next article. Maybe it's trying that 15-minute reading rule. Maybe sketching out a simple mind map for something you're thinking about. Whatever it is, apply it today. Start building that foundation. Your future self, the one who learns faster and better, will definitely thank you.